Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Samantha. I'm an intuitive, a vessel for spirit, and I am here today to do a video on, or a reading, I should say, a reading, pick a card reading on your past lives. And I recently did a past life regression on myself, and you're probably like, how? Because the way we see past life regressions, you have somebody who's like hypnotizing you or whatever, putting you out, and you do it yourself. Well, recently, a couple days ago, I felt very called to, by my spirit team to they were just like, I just had this urge. I was like, I feel like I really want to explore like my past life that affected me this life the most, because there was still some stuff that I felt I was not able to let go of. And so spirit urged me to sit down and to just, talk to them. Um, they were going to walk me through, and they did exactly that. I know a lot of you are probably like, it doesn't make sense, but like other intuitives and other people who are very in touch with the spirit realm, um, and very in touch with their own spiritual gifts will understand what I'm saying. So I sat down and I dissected my past life. And as I was doing that, as I was going through that and seeing who I was, what I went through in this lifetime, it it's like as I was seeing those things started clicking. It's like things started clicking with this life. It literally felt like that. Sorry. That's okay. The energy right now. um, my sinuses are starting to like get weird. So things literally just started connecting. It was like one thing after another, connecting. And I was like, holy crap. I was like, I've always been the type of person to not really like think much about past lives. I don't know. I just never really thought about it. I never really thought that it affected us that much. Um, and until this moment, I was like, holy crap. Like I've been going through my whole life, looking back at everything I've been through, everything I've experienced, um, you know, emotions and pain that I've carried that I never really understood why, all of a sudden makes sense. And it's because it wasn't in this life that I brought those things on, that I started carrying those things. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate, feeling like you carry something or parts of yourself that you just don't understand where it came from, why you do certain things, why certain people have a certain effect on you, why you feel drawn to certain things. It's like all of these things really correlate to past lives and past experiences and things we've done in past lives, and what was done to us in past lives. And it's like we carry the Akashic records. It's storage. It's like we are like I heard this, somebody say this, I forget who it was. We're like a computer. We're like we store everything. Like everything's still there, even though we're in a different body, in a different experience. All of the experiences we've had has, been stored within our Akashic records. Um, and Yeah, so that's why I feel really called to do this, because I saw how much it affected me and really helped me to let go of a lot of guilt, a lot of emotions that I still carried from my past life. Isn't that crazy? Like if you're on a spiritual journey, this might seem like woo woo to you, if you're just beginning, but as somebody who, is in touch and is has had a few awakenings and has at one time been somebody who was like very what's that word, uh cynical. I understand. And literally just up until this a recent point, I've felt the same way about like past lives, and I wondered if we really did take on things from past lives and bring. I thought I was under the impression that we had a clean slate when we entered a new life. Um, as interesting as that is, I don't know why I thought that. I just was never, the door was never open for me to look into my past lives until Spirit brought it to my attention that this is kind of a very important aspect of my healing and my shadow work is dealing with this. They only brought me to one past life that I had. Obviously, I know I've had more, but I asked them to I asked Spirit to show me um, the lifetime that affected me in this lifetime the most. And it was insane. And it's just crazy how much it made sense to why I went through my this lifetime with some of the baggage and some of the pain and some of the ways I am, things I've had to work through, experiences with others in this lifetime I've had. It just totally made sense to me. And it's like, it's almost like I'm closing a chapter because I'm able to correlate, all of the pain and the baggage and the karma that I had to clear in this lifetime in order to really set myself free. Um, so I really want to help you guys, whoever is drawn to this, whoever feels called to this, is interested, is really wanting to know why certain things happened in your life or why you are a certain way, why certain things bother you, why you're not able to make sense of some things now or at some point in your life, or why certain relationships with certain people in your life were the way they were. Um, and I really felt very called by Spirit to really make this video. So it is going to be very general because it's going to be more than one person, but I am now offering us that service. So if you're interested, I'm now going to be offering a past life reading. I'm going to be doing the same thing for you that I did for myself, um, and really helping you to explore a certain aspect of yourself or like your experiences to correlate those with your past lives or past life that you want to focus on. So email me down below and we can talk. And you know, I'm excited for this because I just, again, it's like a huge wake up, like a huge like aha moment for me that this matters. As crazy as that is, as somebody who's been on this journey for a while now, it's like this is something I just really didn't pay attention to. So I'm really happy to share this with you guys and to start diving into this with you guys, and start diving into karma, and helping you guys to, take that deeper look into yourselves and explore yourself on a deeper level, explore your deepest parts of yourself. So again, this reading will be general. So I don't think I'm not going to say never, never say never because Spirit has a way of surprising me and others. So I'm just going to say whatever comes through, comes through. I might not be picking up on like certain physical characteristics or places or like where you were, where you came from, in that lifetime, or like, you know what I mean? Like the physical aspect of it. I might not pick up on a lot of that. I feel like it's going to be a lot more like lesson based, purpose based, karma based, like what is this group, you picked this group because you share this lesson or this purpose in common, like something like that. So it's not going to be as like physically descriptive as it would be if you booked a personal past life regression with me. um yeah, so I hope that makes sense. But yeah, let me see if there's anything else. I don't think so. um yeah, so I'm gonna leave, there's 3 groups, and I'm gonna be free pooling, shuffling on camera. And then I also have 2 oracle cards that Spirit wanted me to put down, one representing the lesson, um they said, and then one representing your purpose in this life. So yeah, so pick your group, whatever you feel drawn to, take as much time as you need, and I look forward to helping you to heal this part of yourself that this resonates with. So yeah, moving on, and I'll see you in your group. Hi, group number one. Welcome to your reading. This is your past life analysis, we'll call it, regression. Diving into how your past life or lives has affected this life, and we'll dive into your karma, purpose, lessons, possible relationships with others in your life that might have affected this life or why they are certain ways. So group number one is the clear quartz here. As I was preparing for your group, I kept hearing witch. I'm hearing 1800 BC. So again, not everything's going to resonate with everybody. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Don't, I pick up on whoever spirit wants me to pick up on. I don't have the power to pick up on everybody. That's a lot of energy. So just take what resonates here. I'm letting spirit completely guide this reading. Like, I have no control over this because this is something I'm diving into myself. Okay, so pile number one. We're going to look at your lesson card first, they said. So, pile one, is this lesson in this life? Past life. This is your lesson that the past life they're going to be touching on for you. This is your lesson in that life, and then we'll dive into it. I bow to you, shifting paradigms. I'm seeing like Salem, Massachusetts, kind of like those times where witchcraft was very, like, witches were killed for being witches, like especially in the US is what I'm seeing, but it wasn't the US at the time. I don't know if it was, maybe. Like that time period where witchcraft was very frowned upon. I feel like some of you in a past life who this resonates for were witches, or were involved in witchcraft. I'm also hearing some of you might have been protectors of witches. Yeah. Because I'm staring at the buffalo, and for some reason when I think of buffalo, I think of like here in the I live in the US, so I'm thinking of the US referring to the buffalo for some reason. Also with the cats here, they're also kind of validating for me witchcraft and witch. Like I'm seeing like a black cat with a crescent moon. So some of you had a past life as a witch. I feel like I'm hearing a healer. You were and by the way, you might not have been a witch I'm just referring to I don't know, it might be validation for somebody that it was in the North America, but I know witches are not just in North America. They come from all over, and have been all over. So don't think that it's just you were in the North America just because that's what I picked up. But that just might be for somebody specific. But anyway, I'm seeing a healer, somebody who used like witchcraft or spells, intention work, herbal medicine, somebody who is very in touch with the earth and the elements, somebody who I'm seeing like cornfields, somebody who is very in touch with the elements and who used the elements to heal others. You were very intentional with I'm hearing medicine man, like you were somebody who was very resourceful. So we're going to just dive into your past life right now. That's what I want to do. I'm going to pull more cards on what. So this is your lesson in your past life was shifting paradigms. Um, which paradigm means it's kind of like shifting perspectives. Um, there's some sort of perspective shift that needed to happen, or some sort of mm, they're having me pay attention to the phrase "I bow to you." I bow to you. Some of you actually might have in a past life um, been somebody who kind of let their status or their magic, it might have gotten to your head in a past life. I'm hearing you strayed away from who you get your power from. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. As I see a hawk. Hawks are like my guides. They use hawks, I guess. I realized that like a few months ago. Um, so yeah, your magic, it's like I see somebody who started off as almost like an apprentice to a witch in a village. And you learned everything you knew from this particular witch. This witch practiced dark magic as well. You learned everything you knew, but people still came to this witch and later you in this past life to for healing. It was just the power, like the witch that you learned from was very powerful, had a lot of status, had a lot of weight, like in this village. Like this witch was um, very respected. I feel like anybody who crossed this witch paid for it, um, and not because of she took it into her own hands. And you learned this from her. You learned how to be powerful, what power was. Um, I'm seeing you in this past life starting off very intrigued as like a younger, like a teenager. I'm seeing you as a teenager, very intrigued by this witch. This might have been your mother in this life, in this past life. And you saw how she alchemized her craft. She made people do whatever it is that she wanted. She, you know, was such a sorcerer that she almost like delivered karma herself, basically. Like if anybody crossed her or if she found out that somebody did something to somebody else, she automatically like people would come to her to have her, you know, do a spell or um, something like that on the person who did something wrong to somebody. Like people would go to her for that. She had that much power. She was like everybody went to her for revenge, for healing, for medicine, like everything. And you watched this. You were an observer and you were to take over that role. I see you doing it yourself, starting to practice it yourself and realizing it's like I'm seeing you like do something you didn't really do before, you just watched, and all of a sudden like a spark and you're like, holy crap, like that worked. Like I have this power, like I have this gift, like I really have it. You getting excited and you took it, like you ran with it. Um but I actually see like your energy compared to the mother witch energy in this vision is very different. It's very soft. Your energy in this past life was very soft, very feminine, very not as like not as much of a masculine energy as the other, the like the witch that you were observing. um Power seeker is what I'm hearing. I feel like you in this past life, you really wanted to have that kind of power over people. You felt like people didn't respect you in the same way. And so you took you shifted. That's exactly what happened. You shifted, just like this card. You shifted your way of doing things. You were like, all right, like my way's not working. Being empathic and being soft is what I keep hearing. So I'm going to start being how I saw this other witch gain her power and respect by taking things into my own hands, by canceling out the empathic part of myself and doing things because it's considered powerful in my village. So tell me more about this lesson that group 1 had to learn in this past life. Mercy and forgiveness. Mercy and forgiveness, the number 6. 6 is about balance, harmony, peace. I'm seeing somebody being remorseful for their wrongs, remorseful for doing things they knew weren't right. I feel like in this past life, it's like you did something that you were trying to like copy, I guess, from this other witch, this very powerful like witch that was also using dark magic and taking things into her own hands and you know creating karma. I'm hearing guilty by association. You might have been an associate, witnessed her doing these things, and again, I'm feeling, spirit shows me like how you felt and like from your point of view, and you just felt like so in awe of this woman, this witch, this powerful woman. What you saw as powerful, and how much she was respected and how much dominance she had, and you wished you had that. But your gift the whole time was the opposite, was empathy that wasn't shown from her. She lacked that, but you were full of empathy. And I'm seeing a dog, which dogs symbolize loyalty. So I feel like you had some real loyalty to this witch in this past life, and because of that, you were guilty by association. We don't think that, you know, oh, we hang out with certain people who do things that we know is wrong, but we think like, oh, it's not, I'm not doing it, so it doesn't affect me. That's not true. The people you were surrounded by, you are guilty by association. If they're doing things that are not right, if they are, just, you know what I mean. You're, whatever karma they get, it could also affect you. Like who you are surrounded by, you are. And so that's why it's so important to be very careful of who you surround yourself with, who you look up to, who you, give energy to, or who you allow to give energy to you, who you sleep with. Things like that. Like we just don't think those things connect, but they do. So yeah, I feel like that was a huge lesson in this past life, is um, learning that the gifts you possess are also important. And I'm seeing like dandelions and like yellow flowers. You felt guilty. You carried a lot of guilt in that lifetime. It was like in the same lifetime, you tried to do something different, kind of like following in the footsteps of this other witch, and in doing so, you realized something happened that like had like a domino effect, and you were like, oh my god, like I don't ever want to feel this way again. You had remorse. You had remorse. You had guilt. And I don't think that that guilt got resolved in that past life. Tell me more about this lesson that group number 1 learned in this past life. I'm seeing the color blue, and I'm seeing it being very like cloudy. So that for me symbolizes like a blocked throat chakra, meaning you didn't speak up, you didn't speak your truth. You held it in, is what I'm hearing. You held in this guilt and remorse, and you just kind of did what you were told in this past life. Euphoria and insight. Yeah, you had some sort of insight about, like this doesn't feel right. Like I don't want to be that way. So you kind of went back into your shell of just being an observer and kind of doing what you were told. Like this woman, this witch, which I still feel is like your mother or some sort of mother figure. Might even have been like your grandmother in this past life, or like an aunt or something. It's like you did what you were told, and that's that. You participated in what you were told to participate in. You kind of just went back to feeling small, feeling like your opinions didn't matter, what you felt didn't matter, like nothing mattered, and you just kind of gave up because you felt so guilty about something that you did. Or something that happened to somebody because of you, or because maybe you didn't say something you should have said, or spoke up. But obviously this powerful witch, like you're not going to speak up to her. Like she had control over you. She had control over everybody in this village. But some people still obviously, like didn't think that she had that much power, so they would, do wrong, or they didn't think the person they did wrong to would go to her. Like, you know what I mean? What else about this lesson? I feel like there's one more card that wants to come out about this. Unresolved. Unresolved, I keep hearing. Fate. I just heard, for some of you, in this lifetime, you encountered the same soul of that person in this lifetime. So if you had anybody in your life who was very domineering, who was very controlling, who wanted things done her way, who kind of almost manipulated you in a way of had a what's that called? Like a damaged masculine energy, or a distorted masculine energy, who thought power was about being destructive. If you had anybody like that in your life, I feel like this is somebody in your life now, or was, that you took your power back from, that you kind of said enough is enough. Like, you're not going to tell me what to do. You're not going to control how I live. You're not going to control, you know, you're not going to tell me that I'm weak, because I can feel, because I have empathy for people. For who this resonates for, you are also very empathic in this life. That's something that's just a part of you. You're very empathic. I'm hearing clairvoyant, which is the psychic seeing. You see visions. You have prophetic dreams, maybe. You just really feel people. You really are understanding. You're very comforting. You might be like have Cancer somewhere heavy in your chart, or Pisces. But this person would be somebody, I'm hearing, it might have been your mother, or a mother figure in your life, in this life too, and you were meant to take your power back. You are meant to discover what true power is, and to be respected because of who you are. not trying to be somebody else, not trying to get respect, not trying so hard. You're just being yourself in this life. That's the test for you. That's the shift, is by taking your power back from this person again. Yeah. Water energy, as I was saying all that. Oh my gosh. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. You have that somewhere very heavy in your chart, for sure. Who this is resonating for. So, anything else about the past lives of these people that pick pile 1? 9. The number 9, which is closing out cycles. Karma. Closing out karmic cycles. This past life, again, like, you really, even if it wasn't like, that's a particular story I picked up on, the witch aspect of it, or medicine man or shaman or something like that, yeah, in any country, in any culture, it doesn't matter. Somebody who had power in a community, in a village, that used it for not so great things, and that used it for revenge and getting back at people and taking things into their own hands, and not recognizing where their power actually comes from, which is source. Using their power as their own. And you being a bystander, you being engulfed in this person's stuff and karma, because you were a part of their line, their lineage. So you were just naturally a part of their karma. You were naturally just engulfed in their unhappiness, their their darkness. And you had resentment, a lot of resentment. And you tried to do something to somebody, or like try to use your magic in the same way that I feel like you were very young at the time, like in your teens when you did this. You tried to copy this mother figure and how she did magic, trying to get back at somebody who might have hurt you. And it worked. And you were like, oh, no. You were like, I don't ever want to do that again. You felt immediate karma. Like, you felt it immediately. Like, you immediately felt guilty and remorseful in this past life. And you were like, I never want to do that again. I never want to participate in that again. But you felt you had to, going forward with this dominant figure, this dominant woman figure. You felt like you had to listen to her, had to abide by her. And so you just kind of gave up, and you just kind of settled being small, feeling small in this past life. So, very interesting. And I'm staring at the I bow to you again. Kind of feeling like you had to bow down to this figure, this person in your past life. Beauty or Beast. 77. Wow. The number 7 is very spiritual number. It's about ascending and a spiritual awakening, coming into your true divinity, your true self, your soul's true expression. That's what's happening for you this life. You're coming into your authenticity and embracing who you are, who you're meant to be, your gifts, your empathy, your sensitivity. I'm seeing rain. I'm seeing things raining. I'm seeing you purifying and letting go of this guilt. You might have been somebody who was kind of a people pleaser at some point in this life. You kind of took on that persona. You might have felt very responsible for others in this life. Felt like you had to save everybody. Felt like you just you had to make up for your past life in this life. But I feel like you're getting to a point where you're learning boundaries. With empaths and very highly sensitive people especially, it's so important to learn boundaries and to learn that you can't save everybody. You can't take everything on. Like, learning to set energetic boundaries, cut cords, all that. I feel like you're learning a lot about that. Rose quartz would be a very good crystal for you if you're not already, if you don't have any. Rose quartz is essential for you for some reason. I feel like it would just be very beneficial. I'm staring at this yellow gold circle here, symbolizing for me that you were very protected, and also validating again about boundaries, energetic boundaries. Clearing your energy. Every time if you do spiritual work, every time you do a session, clear your energy afterwards. Anytime you start feeling drained around certain people, remove yourself. If you don't feel energetically up to answering the phone for certain people, don't. It's putting yourself first, and it's being aware of your gifts and aware of what drains you, who drains you, and aware of your tendencies. This life is very essential for you coming into who you are, and being powerful in your own sense, and realizing that power is not in dominance. Power is in knowing who you are, your presence being so sure of yourself. That's true power. And people just following your lead because of your presence and because of your example, and leading by example, and not wrath. Very interesting. I'm also staring at this pink. A lot of pink. A lot of yeah, and I'm just getting strong empathic vibes here. Um I'm hearing something about a bull. Some of you might have look into the spiritual meaning of a bull. A bull, like a bull, not a bowl, like a cereal bowl, but a bull. um, Look up the meaning of that, spirit totem or spirit guide, because I feel like a lot of you have that. That's a guide for you right now. It's like, I'm just hearing like silent strength, silent strength. Just that intensity, that intensity. Okay, so let's dive into what your purpose is in this life. So we know what your purpose was in your past life, and what your lesson or lessons were in general. So let's find out what your purpose is in this life. Intimacy. Intimacy. Number 59. I'm hearing relationships. So intimacy obviously is not just like sex. Intimacy is vulnerability. Being able to be who you are. That intimate part of yourself, that sacred, soft, feminine part of yourself, accepting that fully. Being able to be vulnerable with others because you don't have any, you know who you are, and you value who you are and your qualities and your gifts. You're like, I'm different. A lot of people don't understand me. Maybe I don't care. Like, this is just who I am, and I'm gonna be that. And I'm not gonna try and be anybody else. I see somebody who, in this life, you possibly like you had a lot of different kinds of friends. When you would find a new friend, you would kind of mold yourself into who they were, qualities you liked in them. You kind of molded and became them, or like they were a part of your identity in a way. Like, you would get really, really close to these people, because you would kind of mold yourself as a part of them and make them a part of you, if that makes sense. And that might be why I picked up something very strong about loyalty, because it's almost like a distorted view of loyalty, like a loyalty to a fault, loyalty to the point that you lose yourself in people. which is very common with empaths and highly sensitive people. So I'm picking that up like crazy here, which I resonate with that a lot because that's something I also dealt with. Um, just being comfortable with yourself, being comfortable with especially the feminine aspects of yourself. Um, you just always felt like people didn't respect people who were, I'm hearing genuine. People didn't respect people who were, sensitive. Um, People told you to toughen up, or you were just around a lot of people who were very domineering and didn't let you speak. Like you felt like you just always had to just shut your mouth. Like you just never had to say anything. You just kind of went along with the people you were around. You just kind of, followed because you felt like you didn't have a place anywhere else. But you were actually meant to go your own way. You were meant to go your own way, create your own place in this world. Yeah. Florida might be significant for some of you. Hamza, she has Hamza hand earrings. Hamza is the hand of the divine. Yeah, you might be a Pisces or have Pisces in your chart very strongly, I'm picking up. Something about the beach and water is so significant. Um, Maybe if you live near a beach, definitely make it a point to go there and cleanse your energy, dive in the ocean, um, take a salt bath. I'm just getting a lot of cleansing your energy is very, very important. Very important for you. Another point in regards to your purpose is in this life is I heard developing relationships based on who you truly are. Um, Being yourself from start to finish, not learning boundaries, learning, what's yours, what's not yours, taking on people's energy and not realizing that you're, picking up somebody else's energy and it's not really yours. Learning about that. I would look into maybe books or something about being an empath. Um, you're a very strong empath, and that is a gift. It's a beautiful gift. It just takes time to hone it, to learn it, and to establish strong boundaries because that's like the most important thing in being an empath is boundaries. Um, I say a prayer every time I leave my home. Anytime I know I'm going to be coming into contact with people, I say a prayer, protect my energy, help me to not take on anything that is not mine. Amen. Like every time being conscious of it, setting that intention that everywhere you go, you will only be in yourself. Um, so I would consider doing something like that or whatever other way resonates with you. You might already be doing this. Um, but developing relationships from your authentic self and attracting people into your life that um, are being attracted to you because you're your authentic self, like genuine connections, is a really big lesson or a really big purpose in this life to experience that, to experience people who accept you as you are and who are also like you, um, and connecting with other empaths as well as what I'm hearing. So, pile one, this is your past life reading. I really hope this gave you some clarity. This helped you to understand more about yourself. If this resonated, if it didn't resonate again, it just wasn't your message. I always set intention that the messages that come through are for the people who need it the most. If you want a session like this again, you can book with me below in the description box. Email me. Um, Also, blue eyes is significant for somebody. But yeah, so I hope this was cool for me. So leave your comments in the obviously in the comment box. Let me know how this resonated for you, if it did. And I'm going to move on to group number 2. Hi, Pile 2. Welcome to your past life reading. So if you chose Pile 2, you chose the lapis lazuli. Don't mind my nails. I got to get them done. Okay, so. All right, so we're going to dive into your lessons in your past life or lesson. And then we will dive into more about that. And then we're going to kind of just connect the dots in about this life too and your purpose in this life. So, again, this might not resonate with everybody. And if it does not, it just wasn't your message. Spirit guides the messages. I'm just the messenger. So I'm, just the physical person relaying them. So just be respectful if it is not your message or it doesn't make sense. Let's see, what else? Yeah, that's it. Okay, so let's dive in. Group number 2. I'm seeing sunflowers. I don't know if sunflowers are significant for somebody. But, okay. So this card is about what your past life lesson was, what your lesson in that life was. Oh my God, stop. I can't make this up. I didn't look at these cards. There's a sunflower. Oh my gosh. I still get shocked sometimes at, wow. For some reason, I feel like this group is very, plays into some of you might be like skeptical of this. I don't know why. And, I guess that somebody needed that validation. Wow. Okay. Whew. Genesis, the birth of consciousness, your talent shines. So in your past life, take a look at that. Also, there's Saturn in the corner there. Or wait, no, that's Jupiter. I'm sorry. I always get Saturn and Jupiter mixed up, as weird as that is. I don't know why. And the moon's right there. Is that Saturn? No, it's Jupiter, right? In a past life, who this is going to resonate for, you were somebody who was very talented in what you did. I'm seeing a musician. I'm seeing a magician, actually. I'm seeing a few different things. Obviously, this is for more than one person. But I'm seeing somebody who is multifaceted. You were somebody who had a lot of different gifts and talents. And I see somebody working with their hands. Something having to do with creating. Generalizing it, creating. Whether you were creating music, art, magic, pottery, or just working in like a factory and using your hands. Something, I'm seeing like dirty hands, like somebody who did like construction or some sort of work that made your hands dirty for some of you. Yeah. So let's dive in. Let's pull some cards. Tell me more about the lesson in the past life for group number 2. I'm hearing magician. I keep hearing magician. Knight of Pentacles. You can look. I'm seeing somebody who also was like worked at like like how in some countries they have like the outside markets. I'm seeing that. I'm also seeing like an Asian country. I'm not sure obviously what I'm hearing. Thailand. For some of you. I'm seeing like an outside market and selling fruit. Somebody selling fruit. How does this play into lesson? Okay. Ugh. The Chariot. I'm seeing, wow. For some of you in a past life, you were a part of a circus, like a traveling circus. Who I just got chills. Oh, wow. That's so cool. Some of you were in a circus, were a part of a circus. I'm seeing elephants and like a bearded lady. Wow. I'm hearing loving what you do. I'm hearing loving what you do, and I just saw the word betrayal. And Spirit shows me that word a lot when it's referring to betraying yourself, going against what you love, doing things because you feel like you have to, or doing things like I'm hearing mundane, doing a job because you have to. Like some of you were a carny in a past life. You were like a traveler. You were somebody who didn't have a home. Wow. This is so cool. Like, I'm just seeing a vision of somebody like, I'm seeing like railroad tracks and just always having to stop places, different places. Um, the thing you loved about this was you loved, I heard, moving at the beat of your own drum. Like you were just, this was your ideal sense of freedom. I'm hearing that in this past life you lost this business, or you weren't able to do it anymore. You might have owned this circus or this traveling circus. They're pointing me back to sunflowers again. Um, if you feel called, look up the spiritual meaning of a sunflower. You loved what you did in this past life. You loved. I just keep seeing elephants. Like I feel like you might have a very strong affinity to elephants in this life. Like you really love elephants for some reason. You loved elephants. That's so significant. Wow. Wow. Tell me more about the lesson in this past life. Reincarnate. The Fool. This card even reminds me of like a carny, like someone who's just always on the road, who's always traveling, just doesn't have possessions, doesn't have a home. Um, okay. So you know what's interesting? In this past life, like when you think of lessons, you think of like you think negative, right? Like we just naturally think like bad. But your lesson in this past life wasn't like that. It was very it was to follow what you love. It was to just be, to just do what you love, and to follow like your soul, like wherever your soul wanted to go. Like it didn't want to be in one place. Your soul wanted to travel. Your soul wanted to value more than material, more than having a huge house or you know the 9 to 5. Your soul really wanted to just explore and pack light, is what I keep hearing. And just the people you traveled with was very few of them. I'm seeing 3. I'm hearing a sister. So this might be a sister you have in this life that was also somebody you traveled with in the past life. Um, you know what's so funny? This card, I knew it was signifying something, but I didn't know what it was yet. You see, there's 2 of everything here. Like you and this person, this soul, have a very strong connection, are very close, have a very tight bond, because in this past life, you guys all you really had was each other. You guys just did everything together. I think this was, I'm seeing you as a masculine for who this is for in this past life. And this was your wife in this life, in this past life. Like you guys ran like a circus together and were carnies together. And in this life, I feel for who this is for, this is your sister or like a very close friend that's like a sister, something like that. Whew, that's for somebody specific. But for like the general lesson of your past lives, for who chose this group, what you all have in common, for who this resonates for, is to, your past life lesson was to be free, was to experience, was to explore, travel, to really, put your love out there, meaning your circus, your acts were everything to you. They were like works of art. They were your creation, and you were expressing that. You were putting that out there, even though you didn't have a lot, even though it didn't make you a lot of money. You loved it so much that it didn't matter. It's really interesting. This life, I feel a lot of you actually do have some sort of, your job or your career is like a normal job or career. You might even feel this sense sometimes, like if you have like a normal career or job or whatever, I feel like you take a lot of time off and you travel a lot, or you make sure that you go do different things, or you're not somebody to just sit around. Like your time of sitting around is at work. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing computers. Like you're somebody who you're at work, but when you leave work, it's like you do what you want. You explore. So this part of yourself, I actually feel like your lesson in this life was to balance that. As interesting as that is, to balance out this freedom, meaning, not inner freedom, but like this you wanted to experience being stable in this life. And even if this isn't your life now, this is something that's a part of you. This is something that you desire. You desire stability in this life, but you also desire, like, you desire a balance. This life was all about balance for you. Balancing your need for freedom, your need to explore, also, and your need to express yourself and be creative and create, and balancing that with stability, financial stability, having a family, having children. I feel like you really want to experience having children in this life. I don't feel like you had children in this past life. Your animals were your children. This life, you might have like a dog. I'm seeing a black furry dog, like a smaller one. You might have a dog that you just feel very, like your dog's like your baby. So even if you don't want children, in this life, your animals or your pets are your children, or you want that. You want pets, if you don't have them already. You're very creative. You're extremely creative and innovative. You're somebody who, in this life, you love to create, even if it's at a job, like even if you're creating like a presentation at work or at school, or you're writing a paper. You love seeing the end result of what you've created or what you've made or what your work has created. I hope that makes sense. Like creativity doesn't have to be all like just art. It's like anything could be art. And it's just expressing yourself in different ways. And I feel like in this life you really express yourself through whatever you do. It doesn't matter what you do. And that's the thing that you took from this past life, is like, it doesn't matter what you do. You just do what you love, and you're your best self no matter what. You're bringing what you're bringing to the table. I'm getting strong Leo Aries vibes, Sag. It's like, it's almost not the job that you love that you're in. It's like, it's just the stability is what's important to you. The stability is the most important part of it, but it's like you're still able to bring in some creativity to it, is what I'm seeing. So no matter what you do, the job is about stability. And that's what was important to you in this life, what you wanted to experience. But you're still bringing your creativity to it. You're still, expressing yourself through your work in some way. You give your all to your work. You feel a sense of purpose in your work. Bringing to the table. Yeah, you have a lot to bring to the table. Like you are very respected in your field. You are very innovative is what I keep hearing, resourceful. You're very like people can tell that you're passionate about, whatever you do, but it's not about the job. It's about you having that ability to create and you just having this drive and this knowing that you're in the right place. Wow. Wow, pile two. I feel like in this life you guys have a very like traditional life, whatever that means, honestly, but you know what I'm trying to get at. Like I feel like you just have the what people would consider like the normal life. Like you might have went to college, you have that like career as a lawyer or whatever you went to school for. Like office job type. I'm also hearing something about singing. But you still on the side like have some sort of, you might even just be like outside of work, you express yourself, you spend your time painting, you spend your time writing, singing, making music. Like it's like a hobby for you now instead of your whole life like it was in your past life. In your past life it was your sense of income, your source of income. It was everything. Like you and your shows and this doesn't have to just be a circus. Again, this is general. That's just the one story that I picked up on. But it's general. So however that resonates for you, just in your past life, you were very free. You were very you explored, you traveled. You didn't have a home. Like you were on the road all the time and you were your work and your creativity was how you made your money, and you didn't make a lot of money in your past life, but you didn't care. And even if you did, you didn't care. It was about expressing your talents and your gifts and your creativity, seeing that finished product and, performing it and seeing it performed. It was like everything to you. The creation of it, how it came from nothing, but up here, it came from your mind and you put it down into a physical representation of this divine, inspiration. Wow. That's so cool. So however that resonates. And so in this life, you are very creative. You are very you crave stability. You crave a stable foundation. So I guarantee a lot of you growing up had a this, again, this isn't going to resonate for all of you, but for some of you, you may have chosen a family in this life that was very stable um in its own way, I see somebody who had a very stable life, who had a home, who made that a very strong priority in this life of balancing out being creative and being this this very free-spirited person, balancing that out with having financial stability and having a home and having a place to lay their head that was in one place, and having a family that was in one place, having children or a lot of pets, or just that sense of family and of home is what you really longed for this life, is what you chose for this life to experience. So your life, this lifetime, for those that this resonates for, is to experience balance and to experience, I'm hearing like having a very full life. You might say that a lot. Like, I just want to have a full life. I want to experience everything. I want to, but still have that stability. Very interesting. So this is again your purpose for this life, this card. Resourcefulness. 48. My left ear is ringing really bad. Resourcefulness. I'm seeing she has a spider web on her nose, and it's reminding me of typing. So in your career, you might type a lot, or in your job, or even if you're like an entrepreneur, you type a lot. I'm just seeing webs, 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 like, and you bringing divine inspiration onto into the physical. Like I just see you creating your from like as channeling, like you're channeling your art. You're channeling um into an art form of some sort. And even if it's not art, it's like into your work. Whatever you do, you channel into that. Like you give your all. Resourcefulness. Tell me a little more about Pile Two's purpose in this life. Yeah, I'm getting wisdom. Like the owl is really standing out to me in this card. Just wisdom. I feel like again, I'm hearing the word flighty. You might also be an Aquarius. Um, in your past life, you were very free spirited, very at the beat of your own drum. You didn't care what you had. You just cared about, um, living a life of freedom. And in this life, you're meant to be more grounded. You're meant to be more grounded. I'm seeing a body. That's so interesting. I'm seeing like a body. I'm seeing like abs. Um, I'm just seeing like the torso area. That might be what field you're in. You might be like a doctor of some sort, or some sort of medical field type, or physical therapist, chiropractor, something like that. You might use your hands in what you do. Some sort of healing arts, or some sort of healing in some way, whether it's medical, whether it's psychological, some sort of healing is what you're meant to do in this life through something. Even if it's just like a side thing. Um I see you doing something on the side, but having some sort of stable income that you went to school for, or that is just like a normal type job, like an everyday, like a normal person type job. And then doing something on the side that's like healing, or even if your job is also doing something within healing, it's like you're doing something on the side that is I heard skeletal. I don't know why I'm hearing that. Also, so Ace of Swords, Judgment, and Nine of Cups. Something about tying. Um, I'm really drawn to her lingerie. Very drawn to her lingerie. Um, Interesting message. Some of you, or probably not a lot of you, but no judgment. Obviously, this is kind of cool. But some of you might be like a sex therapist, or you might be into like couples counseling where you talk about like sex, something about sexual relations. Um, or you might be like a gynecologist, something like that. This is so cool. I'm seeing somebody taking blood. Yeah. Oh my gosh. As I said that, I looked at how, like when you get blood taken, they wrap your arm. You might be like a phlebotomist or a nurse, a doctor, somewhere where you take blood. Some of you might have indigenous roots. I'm seeing like these like as tattoos, like they look like tribal tattoos to me. And butterfly might be significant for somebody. Butterflies symbolize transformation. Something in transforming, alchemic art, or just alchemy, turning something that was nothing into something. Like, also, I'm staring at the food. You might be a chef. A lot of different professions here, but it's just all of them have this one thing in common of creating something, using your hands. You're very like handsy, like you're very your hands are your gift. And that could go for Reiki too, like a Reiki healer or some sort of healer, massage therapist. Like your hands are your, like, these are your gifts right here. Your hands. Your energy flows through your hands. Whether it's typing, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm just picking that up so freaking strong. And XX is standing out to me. Some of you might be like very into making music. XX Tentacion came to mind. That artist or that rapper. I see you as being somebody very direct, very like you don't stop for anybody. You're very like on the go, always busy. You're always on to the next thing. You're just very, but like you love it. This is just you. There's nothing wrong with this. It's like I just see you being somebody who's just very on the go, who loves being busy. Yeah, the Nine of Cups is saying to me, you wanted to be successful in this life. I feel like in your past life, even though you loved what you did, you never got that full experience of being successful, of what you felt success was, or being successful was. Like you just didn't go the whole way. And so in this life, you really made that a priority to really be stable financially and really be successful. What you thought was success was like you drive a nice car, or you want to drive a nice car, you have the nice house, you have the model wife or the model husband. Anything else you want me to know about pile two's purpose in this life? I heard something about music again, singing. Was it? Yeah. Something with your body is like a huge part of your purpose here, or like helping others with their bodies, something like that. The Tower. There's the abs that I saw earlier. I don't know why I heard this. And there's Aquarius energy, the star. I don't know why I heard this. Make you my bitch. Excuse my language. I literally heard that. Like, make life my bitch. I don't know. That's going to resonate for somebody if you say that. Like, you came into this life, like, ready. Like, you were like, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to make money. I'm going to have this. I'm going to have that. I'm going to be known for this. I'm going to create that. I'm going to have the woman of my dreams. Like, you just came into this life ready. Like, you were like, I'm not selling myself short. I experienced having that free, hippie type life before. In this life, I want to still be expressive and creative, but I want to make money doing it, So pile number 2, this is your past life reading. This is so interesting. I loved your energy in this group. You guys have a very high energy, so I really enjoyed that. Again, if you want a more personal one, you can book with me by emailing me, and that's in the description box. Let me know in the comments if this resonated. Again, if it didn't, it just wasn't meant to. So yeah, so I will see you guys in my next video, and I'm going to move on to pile number 3. Hi pile 3, welcome to your past life reading. So this is going to be diving into your past lives, life, whatever spirit wants to bring up. This will be general again, so this will not resonate with everybody. And Yeah, so we're going to dive into your past life and the lesson in that past life that you were meant to learn. And then we're going to dive into your purpose in this life and correlate everything between, your past life and this life. So let's get right into it. Sorry, I'm like stuttering so bad today. Um, so you chose the black obsidian. All right. So pile 3, your past lives, past life. So for the past 2 piles, I have been picking up on like specific storylines for certain people's past lives, but I think it's to just give an overall like message of what your past life was like. So if I'm speaking on something specific, still like take the overall general message of it, of like the energy of it. Um, but it's just like a theme that life had, and that's what's going to resonate for more than one person, if that makes sense. But they'll show me one story, one storyline, or one lifetime of somebody, and it's just to give an example of what the life was like for the general audience. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So just take what resonates again. So this is your lesson in your past life. Keepers of the children of the earth, awaken your power. The bumblebee is sticking out to me. Take a look at the card. I get a very... Your energy is very hard to tap into, but I am getting like I'm hearing mother. You, for the majority of who picked this pile, you were mothers in a past life. You were Pisces maybe in this life. You were watchers of children. So whether you were a mother or not, you were, you know, you watched over children. You helped children. You were somebody who was a guide for children. I'm seeing somebody who was very wise, kind of like one of the like a wise elder in a past life. You were a wise elder and you were a guide to children. With your, I'm seeing an owl. With you guys, you're very old souls. Very old souls. You have a lot of wisdom. You are very, I heard the word attached. You're like humanitarians. You want to help people. You people come to you for advice a lot. People come to you for guidance. You just kind of seem to always know what to say. Um in this past life, you were a mother figure is what I'm hearing, and I'm seeing a vision of you being around a bunch of children, or like watching a bunch of children, and all of a sudden somebody comes storming through the door. It's some sort of village. Um, it's like you were protecting these children or something like that, and all of a sudden somebody stormed in the door. Some sort of, I'm hearing posse. Um, and you guys were taken from the home. I heard made to suffer. I heard storm and army. Um, you were tortured in a past life. I'm hearing regal. You were captured and tortured. I don't really feel like this is relating to the children aspect and the guide aspect. This is just because of, I'm hearing status. Um, you were somebody who was in a certain group of people, and this can be a religious group, it could be a royal family group, or like somebody who worked for a royal family. It could be, um, I'm hearing party. Could be some sort of party, some sort of some sort of like maybe even ethnic group in the whole, like you were a separate ethnic group from the majority. You're somebody who struggles with anxiety and panic disorder is what I heard. um I don't know why I'm getting that you were involved in some sort of royal family. But it's like I almost feel like you weren't a part of the family, but you were just there. You were there, and they got crusaded is what I heard. Crusaded. They got crusaded. Um, some sort of outside party came in, and was trying to take over power. And it's funny. Awaken your power. Yeah. I almost feel like you were like a nanny or like a stay-in nurse or stay-in nanny, or you just helped this royal family. You watched over their children. They had a lot of children, and you watched over the children for some of you. Or if it's not like a royal family in the sense of like, um, there can be like in different cultures, there are so many different royal families and like what the environment looks like. So even if it wasn't like I'm seeing a village, and then I'm also seeing kind of like a more westernized type royalty, like royal setup with the castles and stuff like that. But then I'm also seeing um like indigenous tribes. I'm seeing tribes. That's the word. And it's just you were a part of some sort of royalty in that tribe, in that culture, and you were in with them. And you were either like an older elder that watched over the kids, or you were like a stay-in nanny of some sort, something along those lines. You were somebody who spent a lot of time with children. You spent a lot of time watching over children, sharing wisdom with children, teaching children. And because you were involved with this royal family or this queen or this king or whatever, you got taken as well with these people that were trying to take over. You were tortured. Um, I want to pull some tarot. Tell me more about the lesson in this past life for group number 3. You know, you guys chose the black, um, um, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting, not onyx, but obsidian. I've been, there's so many black rocks, I don't know, or stones, so I don't know. Black, obsidian. I almost forgot it again. And the black obsidian is about protection. It's all about protection. You guys have trouble feeling safe, because like in this past life, what I'm seeing is like life was so good. Life was so good. You loved what you did. Like you just loved being around children, and then all of a sudden it's just taken from you like that, like that. And it's like you just didn't see it coming. So in this life, I feel you have a lot of anxiety, or you struggled with anxiety at some point. You just always feared being caught off guard, and um, you feared people, is what I'm hearing. You feared that like things could just, you fear change. You're somebody who does not like change. Um, I'm hearing something about travel. You have a fear of planes, possibly for some of you. I don't know why I heard that. Engines. Something about engines. Knight of Swords. I'm hearing chasing, chasing. Um, this is kind of saying to me you fear like I'm seeing the guy chasing the bike as like someone chasing you. Trigger warning, I heard something about rape. Um, you might have experienced that in this life. I'm so sorry if you did. I'm hearing that that experience in this life was actually meant to trigger you. Not that like, or it did trigger you. I'm sorry, not meant to trigger you. Did trigger you. It triggered you. It triggered these feelings from this past life. Um, I do feel like you did die in this past life after being tortured. Like you didn't live on after that. Um, it was like life was so good at one point, and then boom, you're taken to some sort of like dungeon, tortured, and killed. Tell me more about the lesson from the past life. What's the lesson for group number 3 that they were meant to learn in the past life? 4 of Cups. I'm hearing something about naiveness. Um, in your past life, you might have been. I'm seeing somebody who just sees the good in the world, like nothing else, like nothing. It's just they're very sheltered. Um, I'm seeing somebody who I'm hearing something about drive. I'm just seeing somebody who like is very naive. Um, mm, I just got chills. Something about like this was that experience in that life was meant to actually like I'm hearing grit, like to add some grit to you. Wow. Um, this is very interesting. You were almost being prepared for future lifetimes from that life because it was meant to make you a warrior, is what I heard. You had the sensitive aspect to yourself that you had that down packed. I actually want this group to look at their south and north node in their chart. Your south node is what you have already came into this life with, and your north node is kind of what you don't know a lot about and what you're actually. It's a lot of like where your lessons lie in this life and what you're meant to become more of in this life. Um, you your south node might be in like Cancer or Pisces, um, or Virgo. I heard. Um, this being essential because there's something that you had down packed in this past life and previous lives before. You were always a nurturer, always a caretaker. You were always very nurturing, very like innocent. And there's a side of you that was waiting to be awakened. Though you are meant to be a warrior, is what I keep hearing. Like you're meant to be, and that's not in the sense of like not of canceling out your sensitivity, canceling out your that part of yourself. It's honing a different part of yourself. I'm seeing duality. Mm. Like men bringing together light and dark, bringing together light and dark, tapping into your darker aspects, your shadow aspects, diving into that, honing that, becoming more aware of it. And I feel in this life, if you do suffer from anxiety and panic, or you have, it was because you were not sure, like you haven't experienced this part of yourself that brings that anxiety up. You haven't experienced that part of yourself yet. And that's what you're meant to do in this life. You're meant to actually explore that and to embrace that part of yourself and bring the two together to make you a warrior. Like, I don't know if you have like a warrior tattoo or something like that, or you just resonate with that, like that empowers you. Like, I'm a warrior, you know? I don't know if that fits for somebody, but I just keep hearing warrior. So lessons from this past life. Tell me a little bit more. I heard learn and safety. Learn safety. You're a lot more awake in this life, if that makes sense. Like, you're a lot more aware of your surroundings. You're a lot more conscious. You're more protective. Like, you know, when like I'm seeing like as a child how we're usually like so innocent and so like we don't know any better. We're very innocent, we're very playful, you know, everything's all light. And then as we get older, as we experience, you know, trauma, and as we experience things, it hardens us and it makes us have to go into protective mode of ourselves because of certain things we've experienced. I'm seeing you as that. I'm seeing you form this protective barrier around yourself. I'm hearing recluse. I feel like you might be some of you might really suffer from bad anxiety, bad social anxiety. Like, sometimes you really can't even leave your house or where you live. Like, I'm seeing like really chronic anxiety. It's interesting because this past life, it's like they're not having me focus so much on it because it's not what you need to learn now. You've already, you have that, like, you have that sensitive aspect of yourself. You have that very empathic, very, you know, wise and motherly type energy to you, even if you're a male or, you know, identify as masculine. You still have this very nurturing quality to you that you've mastered. And your past life ended so quickly that they're honing in on. It's like there's nothing to talk about that past life because it's like what you kind of carried those last moments, the torture and all that, and that fear into this life to be healed, to be confronted, and to be nurtured. And the best person who's going to be able to do that is yourself, is what I'm hearing. Like, you are a nurturer. That is your natural state. That is who you are. And you're meant to nurture yourself. Not that you shouldn't seek outside help and, you know, console others, but the person who is going to be able to heal you is you. You are meant to heal yourself, to pick yourself up, to nurture this wound, these triggers, this, like, nobody else is going to be able to do this for you. I'm seeing somebody who doesn't really have a lot of friends, who doesn't have a lot of people around them. Like, you are meant to face your anxieties, your fears, and you're meant to embrace what that experience has brought up in you, this protective energy, this strong energy, this nobody's gonna F with me energy, even though, like, there's a balance. You're meant to balance that out, and it was meant to develop this conscious awareness in you that you are able to see and be aware of when things are not right. I hope this makes sense. Like, you're more weary-eyed, but not in a bad way. It's not meant to be in a bad way. It's meant to really have a watchful eye. That's what I keep hearing. I don't know why I hear that. I'm seeing, like, you know, in prison, they have, like, the watchtower. I'm seeing, like, the watchtower. Tell me more about the lesson they're meant to learn. From this past life. In this life. I just heard boot. You're scared of darkness. You're scared of the dark. You're scared of facing your darkness and facing your shadow. You're scared of it. And that's what's causing your anxiety. You see that orb? They always do that. Yeah. You are meant to face this side of yourself and to become stronger. You're meant to toughen your spirit in this life and to be able to be a force. Yeah. Tell me more. About the lessons in this life. The sun. I'm seeing you coming out of this. If you're still dealing with anxiety and panic and all that, I'm seeing that actually facing this, praying about it, getting, even if you do have to get some help or work with somebody over with this, that's fine. You're meant to overcome this anxiety and make this new, it's like almost like it brought that experience in your past, like brought up this something in you that's meant to be a part of you now. And it's this strength. It feels like strength. It feels like power. It feels like a protector. You're really meant to be some sort of like protector, and it's just meant to make you tough, and more durable is what I just heard. So this is your purpose in this life. Style, number 8. I keep hearing the word warrior with you guys. These are reminding me of coffee beans. I don't know if any of you drink a lot of coffee, but I think what this is telling me is to maybe lay off the caffeine. That might help your anxiety. Also, I'm seeing like an amulet. Whether you have like a crystal that you that helps you, or some sort of spirit wants you to get some sort of amulet, or necklace to wear around your neck that symbolizes something for you as a form of protection. You can make any necklace a form of protection for you. And it's about your intention. It's about like when I make like a piece of jewelry, or a crystal, a form of something, what I want to make it do for me, or how I want it to serve me, what purpose I want it to serve, I'll pray over it with it, and I'll set that intention. So if you want something to serve as some sort of protective amulet or necklace or bracelet or ring or whatever, pray over it or pray with it, and set that intention that this will protect me from, as I leave my house, or as I go here, or wherever you feel any anxiety, or whenever you feel anxiety, to hold on to it as well would help you. I'm also seeing something about yarn. You might sew, putting the pieces together. Your purpose in this life is to put everything together, again, like we were just talking about, to duality, to combine both sides of yourself into who you're meant to be, this tougher but sensitive, empathic but protective energy. I just heard embrace this side of yourself. And I'm staring at her eyes. You might have brown eyes, or brown eyes might be significant. You might watch the show Charmed, or have watched the show Charmed. That might be significant for somebody. So tell me more about group number 3's purpose in this life. Okay. Judgment and Queen of Wands. Yeah, exactly. Queen of Wands energy is fiery, is somebody who doesn't take shit from anybody, is somebody who's who they are, and that's that. Their presence is known. You know, Queen of Wands walks into a room, all eyes turn. She has a powerful presence. And Judgment. To ascend. And Nine of Wands at the bottom of the deck here. Nine of Wands is about resilience. It's about overcoming. With Judgment, you're meant to, again, overcome this anxiety, overcome the fear you have about this new aspect of yourself you came into this life to discover. And find what way works for you to help you overcome this. But just know that this anxiety is just fear of who you're meant to be, and is fear of this new aspect of yourself that's meant to be embraced. And continue to heal. And I heard continue to do your shadow work, because I feel like you are working on that, and you're working on your fears and your anxieties and overcoming them. And I feel once you get to a certain spot, it's like you're going to ascend and become this more conscious, aware, awakened, tough, strong spirit. You're going to be more like the Queen of Wands. I feel like you've already mastered like Queen of Cups energy, and it's time to get into like that fiery energy and embracing who you are and being that powerful presence, that very, I'm hearing sensual type person, like getting more in touch with your masculine side of yourself, your masculine energy. Yeah. Balancing that out, honing in on that, learning about your masculine energy and what purpose it serves in your life. Very interesting. So pile 3, that was your past life reading. Let me know in the comments how this resonated. Again, if it didn't resonate, it just wasn't meant to. You can book with me for a private past life session if you want to. And I'll leave my email in the description box if you are interested in that. And I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their night. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.